Welcome inside another edition of Celtics Roundtable on CLNS Media. CLNS Media, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage of your Boston Celtics. Evan Valenti alongside my man Zaire here on a Tuesday morning. Another Tuesday tirade edition of Celtics Roundtable. Today's show helped powered by Greats. Maker of the all-time greats. Go to greats.com. Go to use the promo code Celtics Roundtable for 15% off your next purchase from Greats. We're going to get to something very interesting later on in the show. I think something that Zaire is very passionate about throughout the entire season. If you're just joining us for the first time, Zaire has a lot of interesting takes on basketball, I would say, and a lot of the times he's right on. And it's not just about certain players; it's how shots are distributed. And we'll get into what we think is the most ideal shot distribution for the Celtics here in 2017-2018. But before we do that, I wanted to kind of share what I think is a great story with the Boston Celtics. This particular version of it, it's been tweeted all over the place, but this comes from Chris Forsberg. While Celtics were on the road, Brad Stevens asked Gordon Hayward if he needed anything. Gordon Hayward asked for a basketball, and Brad's wife dropped one off. Zaire, I think that if you're going to have somebody on your team, you want a complete psychopath that after he potentially has a career-ending injury or definitely a season-ending one, the first thing you ask for from your head coach is, I need a basketball so I can practice. That's the exact kind of guy you want as a leader of your team.
That is an amazing, touching kind of movie like Hollywood type of story. Hey, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? Like in the spirit of Hoosiers, you know. So we're gonna talk about this forever in Celtics folklore. No matter what happens, we're gonna always remember. Hey, remember when Gordon Hayward got hurt and Brad came in and he just said, "Just give me a ball." Like that just makes you feel good. And if you don't feel good after hearing that, you're not an American.
Yeah, I think it's just there you go, Zaire. I just think. The fact that this guy's already focused on the next step and then probably the next step after that, we don't really know what the timetable is. I highly doubt he comes back and plays this season. There are people that have a small sliver of hope for that. I don't. But it stinks. We're still talking about it because there are certain things that come out that make you laugh a little bit and make you think, better of the situation. Like, oh, Gordon Hayward already has basketball in his hand. It reminds me a little bit of Boston Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia, who, after he had a season-ending foot injury, was out on the baseball field the next day taking ground balls at second base on his knees to keep practicing. That's the kind of stuff that you look for a leader, and Kyrie's already been kind of anointed that guy. To have another guy with really great moral character, moral fiber like Gordon Hayward can only again speak volumes to this team. Like you worry about some of the culture, about the guys that have left. Isaiah and Jay Crowder, and Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk, a part of the Celtics culture. It seems like the culture now has gone from KG to another version of it with Isaiah and Jay and Avery Bradley, and there's now another version of what is similar Celtic culture with Gordon Hayward, Kyrie, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown. Those guys are continuing, I think, the same mantra from here to the next group of Celtics.
And dare I bring up the name Ray Allen, who also impacted the culture with his discipline as a player. And I think Al Horford represents that. So you have those ingredients, and it's real cool to see. I think what we have here is just a very special situation. And I've said it ever since last year, and I saw it before. When you bring in Brad Stevens, you bring in a special person. And for him to do the things he's been able to do prior to becoming a Celtics head coach, it had to take something that's not in the typical basketball coach. And the same thing with these players, it's very hard to make it to the NBA. We know that, but it's even harder to excel. It's even harder to remain there. It's even harder to be a star. It's even harder to be a superstar. So it takes that special kind of person who is not going to feel sorry for himself, who's just going to be thinking forward constantly. And I think we got a bunch of guys who are constantly thinking forward. Yes, they felt something immediately, but they say, you know what, we have a job to do, and we're going to go do that job. And I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a special group of guys. It has been for a while. But we want to talk about a special group of people. We'll talk about the special people over at Greats. These guys are the best. This show is sponsored by Greats, makers of the all-time greats. Stylish, comfortable sneakers sold at a great price. And Greats is Brooklyn's first sneaker company. They just opened a new store in Brooklyn. Go on and check them out down in Brooklyn. They sell all the greats, classic styles made the best for last. Wide selection of men and women's shoes at their disposal. Versatile styles, suitable for any occasion. Like you can wear this with a suit, pair of jeans, whatever you want. These go with everything. They're awesome. Tons of different colors and materials to choose from, and their best sellers include one of these guys, the lace-up Royale leather lace-ups. These guys are awesome. I love these shoes. I wear them all the time. I gotta clean them. I'm a little embarrassed right now. This is not nearly as wet as it should be, but I'll get on that. That's for after this podcast. I'll take care of that. Make sure you keep your kicks clean. And if you want to go and grab your own pair, I highly think you should do so. These are awesome. But when you do so, use the Celtics promo code, or our promo code, Celtics Roundtable, for 15% off your next purchase of Greats. You're going to go to greats.com, Greats.com, get a pair of these, and tweet at us a picture of your shoes. Show us your kicks. Love
show your kicks. Show your kicks. Ladies, I told you, ladies, show your kicks.
Relax.
You need to see your kicks. I'm begging, please.
Calm down, guy. Yeah, again, greats.com. Again, the promo code is Celtics Roundtable. But now, I do want to get into what I would call the bigger storyline of this particular podcast, and that is the fact that without Gordon Hayward, the Boston Celtics are going to be a significantly different offensive team. Now, I went on Celtics Beat with Larry H. Russell on CLNS on Sunday, and we talked about, why this stinks, why losing Gordon Hayward is not a fun thing, and you think about all the repercussions of it. I think one of the things is the Boston Celtics were clearly an offensive team that could be, hang defensively. Okay, a really good, really elite offensive team, but defensively, maybe average above average. They saw Golden State. We got to score 110, 120 points to beat that team. This is what we need. We need an uptick at a couple positions, doesn't matter where, but Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward are going to help us score 110, 120 points a game, night in, night out. Okay? Now Gordon Hayward goes down, and now the dynamic of the team shifts from, I think, an elite offensive team to an above-average offensive team, hopefully at their peak, and hopefully a better defensive team now that they have to rely on that. Zaire, first and foremost, my assessment, you agree with the fact that I think Boston has gone from an elite offensive team to a team that will rely more defensively than they ever thought they would?
I wish I could answer that question, and I don't use the word I wish too often. It's hard to tell right now because we just don't know what the totality of this team will look like at the end of this season. We don't know because the injury situation. We don't know because what we saw out of Jaylen Brown, will we continue to see it out of Jaylen Brown? A red flag that stood out to me, and not to deny an answer to your question, but my answer is I don't know. But to go to a bit of another direction is when I saw Jaylen Brown against LeBron James, and it brought back memories of how he looked last year against LeBron James the first time. And what happened after that? It was a regression. And what's happening now, while everyone's excited, there's been a little bit of a regression. And I don't know if it's really happening, but when I saw that 9 points on the board in that third game, I thought, okay. So are we going to see Jaylen Brown do this all season long? And I don't know if this team can afford for Jaylen Brown to be like this all season long. Not sure.
I don't think anybody's going to imagine Jaylen Brown scoring like 25 points a game or 23 points a game, right? Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I do think he's going to score in double digits a game. And I think the 9-point output he had the other night was more of just a weird night for him. I thought for the most part, like, Jaylen's probably going to need to now. I want to tie this into this topic. Without Gordon Hayward, for them to still be a really effective team, like somebody, and I think Tatum could be one of these guys, but I think Brown's more likely, one of these guys has got to really step it up. And I think if Boston wants to be like a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference, like Jalen's got to score 15 to 17 points a game. And the first couple of games, we've seen that. And I think he's going to get that based off of a lot of his last athleticism and his first step. You know, the 3-point shot I think will come with time. He's really exceptional corner 3-point shooter. And as he gets more comfortable above the break and at the wings, like that's going to be great. I mean, a pull up from 3 the other night from the top of the wing I really liked. Again, he does a lot of things that I really like. And I think he'll get to the rim with ease if he continues to just read defenses correctly as he gets more acclimated. Look, wherever this ends up in terms of shot distribution, I think if Boston's going to be a really good team, Jaylen Brown has a lot to do with that. I don't even have a problem with him shooting as much as he is right now. If you look at some of the numbers early on, Kyrie leads the team in shots per game, and he's going to do that probably for the entire season, almost 20 a game. Jaylen Brown is number 2 at 16 a game. I don't know if it needs to be 16, but I don't have any problem with him chucking it up 12, 13, 14 times a game because Boston is going to need that for them to be any good, really.
As long as the shots are quality shots and as long as, you know, I don't know. I just think there's just this brand of winning basketball that you can play with this group of guys. And it's all about the right guys doing what they need to do when it's time to do it. And another thing, too, and let me probably negate everything I'm saying. If Jaylen Brown's your guy, then make him your guy. You know, we all know what Kyrie can do. We all know what Kyrie's here for. But if Jaylen Brown's that other guy, then make it definitive. You know what I'm saying? Just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go in this week or next 2 weeks, and Jaylen Brown's our number 2 option, hands down, period. And the reason why I say that is because, again, at the end of that Philadelphia game, he wasn't around.
I don't think they want to put restrictions on their guys like that. I don't think they want to be like Jaylen Brown's our number 2 guy. I think the value of the way Brad Stevens coaches is, you know, we're going to, more often than not, going to need Kyrie to be our best scorer every night. Some nights that's going to happen, sometimes that's not. But I think who their second option in terms of their number 2 scoring option, I think that's going to change based on different matchups, who's hot, how they can exploit certain ends of the floor. If one team's small and then you go big, like maybe Al Horford has a big game. Like he shot a ton against Philadelphia. It was 16 shots. He was all over the place, and I loved it. I thought it was great that Al Horford was really aggressive from the jump. Like sometimes maybe Jason Tatum's going to be a guy that takes a ton of shots. I would like him to take more shots now that Gordon Hayward is out. I would like him to be aggressive and hunt for not just catch and shoot opportunities, but drive to the basket, read the defense, see if you can make a play. Marcus Smart, as much as you probably won't like it throughout the season, Zaire, is going to shoot the ball a ton. Right now, is averaging 14, 15 a game. I know you probably have a problem with that, but I think that's the beauty of what Boston's trying to do. Not only is it positionless basketball, but the responsibilities can change to different people night in and night out.
Well, there's this biblical verse. I can't remember the scripture, but it says, let me accept the things that I cannot change. And I guess I can't change the fact that Marcus Smart is going to be chucking up shots. So
just went biblical with Marcus Smart. That's fantastic.
So I don't know. I think that he, I can't totally complain about his first 2 outputs or whatever, but I think that it's just I actually enjoyed him not being there the last game. As bad as that sounds.
What?
I did, because Terry Rozier made you not miss him, and Terry Rozier, I don't know if he's going to keep this up. That's what I'm saying. This is such an unknown right now because there are some things happening that's Terry Rozier don't normally shoot 48%. And, Jaylen Brown, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do this all season long. I don't know. There's some unknowns. Kyrie Irving, you're not playing like the guy we traded for, So there's some unknowns right now. But, if Terry Rozier can somehow shoot over 45% and be like he's been being, and shoot, Marcus Smart, once again, somebody becomes expendable when someone steps up and does things that they don't normally do on a regular basis. And that's all I was saying before when I was talking about Jaylen Brown in the previous episode, is that if someone steps up and does something that you didn't see coming and it's great, someone else's minutes become expendable. It's just what it is. So I don't know. But yeah, Marcus Smart, I know it sounds like I'm hard on him, but I love what he does outside of shooting the rock. And if shooting the rock is going to hurt this team, I mean, people go, well, he makes winning plays. But he's the reason why you're down, or part of the reason why you're down at times, because he's just jacking up bad shots and he can't shoot. And every shot is a bad shot when you can't shoot. So yeah, I mean, it's an annoying thing, and I have accepted it, but it doesn't mean I like it.
I just want to just let everybody know right now, because it's going to be a topic of discussion every time Marcus chucks like 20 a game. Zaire will come on this podcast and complain about it. It's just going to happen. So I'm preparing you now.
No,
in terms
really,
of shots, go ahead.
Really, I'm this year I'm gonna turn over a new leaf. I'm gonna no sell it. I'm going to not pay attention. When I see him doing it, I'm going to act like it didn't happen, because most of the Boston Celtics fans do, and they're fine with it. So, hey, why should I be just this squeaky wheel? Maybe I should just say, hey, there's other things in the world to be concerned about than Marcus Smart jacking up bad shots. Here's the last thing I will say. Once again, I heard someone else say, was it Levy last time? He is the worst three-point shooter in Celtics history. But not only the worst three-point shooter in Celtics history, he is the worst shooter that's a guard that gets a nice considerable amount of shots in Celtics history. For those of you who do not know, you can research it. It is proven. It is a statistical fact that this guy is not, he's the worst. Hands down.
Real quick,
worst.
because we're out of time, and we talk about the shot distribution between the rest of the guys now without Gordon Hayward, right? A couple more shots for Jalen, a couple more shots for Marcus. Rozier, again, I've been really impressed with what Terry Rozier has done this year. He's been fantastic. Okay, you have those guys who can take more shots. Tatum as he gets more comfortable, whatever. We talked about this before the podcast even started. A guy that you're very high on is also going to take a bulk of these shots when he comes back, hopefully against the San Antonio Spurs. But one of your favorite guys this offseason, Marcus Morris, has come back and give this team some offense too. So as we try and figure out where the Celtics are, we still have to remember that they're totally not ready and healthy yet. You still have Morris coming back. Smart's, again, going to kind of try to work through this ankle thing. Boston is going to get better, and again, as we still lament and sort of get over, I guess, the Gordon Hayward injury, there is reinforcements on the way to Marcus Morris, so we can all get a little excited about that, right?
Absolutely, and that is why I'm not in total despair. When I saw Gordon go down, of course your heart hurt for him, but I kind of got over it fast, because I said, you know what, this happened last year. We were missing guys. And we had to kind of gimmick some things together until everything came together. Well, we know Gordon Hayward more than likely isn't coming back, but there is a guy named Marcus Morris who is serviceable, who we don't know what kind of magic Brad Stevens can work, with this guy. Look at what he did for all the previous guys who were here, who played better under his watch. So yes, I'm excited to see Marcus Morris. I believe that if Marcus Morris is all the way right, no ankle issues, it's lingering all season, if he can come in and perform and be the animal that he is, that this team can still be a top 3 seed in the East. But a lot of things have to go right. And so once again, with the unknowns, we don't know. But one thing I will give props to before we go, I love what Jason Tatum is doing. Danny Ainge is looking like the smartest guy in America right now. By drafting this guy, Jason Tatum is filling up the stat sheet. And yes, the plus minus might not always be there, but when you see this guy active, getting rebounds, who no one but Avery Bradley could do that last year, right? Getting rebounds and not being afraid to take big shots and things of that nature, and just not being a mute out there at times. He's out there on the court. I love it. I love it. I love it. And finally, to make you happy, Evan, I am repping the Cuse today. I got the KJ Kevin Johnson Cleveland Browns jersey right now. I'm repping the Cuse. I would have had my Derek Coleman rookie card with me, but I didn't have time to get my Derek Coleman rookie card. But you know what I'm saying, I got the Kevin Johnson it ain't the Syracuse jersey, but it's orange. It's an orange Browns jersey. So you guys gonna love this right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm repping New York in the sense I got this ain't New York. Honestly, it's Boston. I got the Gangstar headband on, you know what I'm saying? We done turned this into a fashion show, you know. Got the Gangstar headband on. And y'all know the late RIP Gurus from Boston, you know. So we doing what we do. But yeah, once again, Jason Tatum, you my guy so far. I'm rolling with you, man. You my guy.
I couldn't end the show any better than that, so that's where we're going to have to stop this. I want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Hey, what's up? What's going on? If you like the show, hit the like button below us and subscribe to CLNS Media. I want to thank the 10,000 plus of you that have subscribed to us. It's an unreal feeling. We keep going up and up. Thank you for sticking with us. Today's show brought to you by Greats Shoes at Greats.com. Use the promo code Celtics Roundtable for 15% off your next purchase. If you want to follow us on Twitter at CLNS Roundtable, it's a good place to find all our content. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, the CLNS mobile podcast app. You can download it on whatever smartphone that you use. Make sure you stay tuned for more shows, because this week I lost a bet. Terry Rozier's on the roster. That means I have to eat a Terry Rozier sandwich. Spaghetti, ranch, and sugar on white bread. I'm going to do it this week. Whether that airs Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know. I'm calling in reinforcements. I'm calling my Italian grandmother. We're going to make it together, so at least I have a really excellent plate of pasta to devour on afterwards. But make sure you stay tuned for more content like this and excellent content right here on CLNS Media with Celtics Roundtable. For myself, Zaire, we'll see you next time, guys.